All right, welcome to another interesting episode of Real Talk Kike. I say excellent afternoon to all those who are watching us across the states in Nigeria. I say welcome to another interesting episode. And they say the dependability of the Electoral Commission is the beginning of trust and confidence of the voting populace. And when the electoral empire is upright and diligent, with leaving no room for flaws, amongst other factors, credibility, election can be achieved, then we can say that the mandate of the people prevails. I say again, welcome to another interesting episode, and you're welcome to Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, Kike Atanda-Owo, and of course, I think it's important for us to quickly hear what our On This Day in History segment asks for us. Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Exactly 10 years ago, one notable event that occurred on March 14th in Nigeria history was the inauguration of the Nigerian Railway Cooperation (NRC) mass transit train service in Lagos in 2013. The new train service, which was launched by the Nigerian government, aimed to provide an affordable and efficient transport options for commuters in Lagos, which is one of the country's most populous and congested cities. The launch of the NRC mass transit train service was also seen as a positive step towards reducing traffic congestions, air pollution, and accidents on Lagos' busy roads. The service has since been expanded to other parts of the country, including Abuja, Nigeria's capital city, and has helped to improve the quality of life for many Nigerians.
All right, the launch of NRC mass transit train service was also seen as a positive one if you're talking about the On This Day History segment, especially when it comes to air pollution, especially when it comes to the accident on the Lagos busy road. And the government is playing its part, which is one of the, takeaway of this On This Day History segment. I think it's important for us to understand that it takes every one of us to actually have a place where it's not abusive when it comes to the maintenance of our road, and of course when it comes to the transportation of Lagos State. I think it's important for us to quickly get a quick message from our sponsors. Please stay with us. I'll be right back. All right, on the show today, I'm discussing one of the topics at the front burner of politics in Lagos. And as we know, we are in the election season, and of course, there has been a lot of action and tension, let me put the word like that, in the political space, and regards the upcoming gubernatorial elections scheduled for Saturday, the 18th of March in Lagos. Quite a lot of Lagosians are the decision place to make a choice on who becomes their next governor. And speaking about the next governor of Lagos State, I have the candidate of the Labour Party with me on set by the name Gbadebo Rhodes. I think it's important for us to quickly get his profile, and we'll continue the conversation. Stay with me. We'll be right back. right, welcome to the show, Architect Gbadebo. But I like to call you GRV. I think that sounds more too. Shall I say?
No, but Gbadebo has to be there.
I know.
If not, you have some people thinking that I'm an IPOB leader.
Oh, all right. I understand that. Talking about.
And also the name, I'm literally living it because we're going to bring the crown and crown Lagos again.
Excellent. I like the meaning of that, with what you just put out there. But many thanks again for creating time to be on the platform, Real Talk with Kike. Talking about people thinking that, it might mean IPOB and the likes and all of that. There have been different reactions on socials. I want to start from asking you, what do you make of the whole attention, the distraction, or will I say the controversies that has made you more popular today, especially when it comes to the presidential election? After the presidential election, we saw all the reaction that came from the public. But which one are you enjoying the most? Let's start from there with after the primaries, so to speak.
After the elections, I was very excited to see that everything that we said will happen, happened. Because from the very beginning, I've always said our focus is to bring a new voter demographic to the ballot, right? We're not, and that's why we are reaching out to people, explaining our manifestos, because we have always said that the working class, people that wake up in the morning and go to work, people that know about policy, people that can imagine a better Lagos, a better Nigeria, they don't get involved in politics and electioneering. So you leave it for only people that are making decisions based on their stomach. And that creates a very bad situation because government will reflect those people and their interests. And if people cannot imagine a better Lagos and they're just okay with whatever handouts they get every 4 years, then Lagos cannot move forward. So I was very happy to see a voter demographic that came out not being induced by money, having the courage to stand and ensure that their votes count. It was truly beautiful to see.
All right, with what that you've shared thus far, I can't help but ask what you assess the people of Lagos. What do you think that the political atmosphere today has been more when it comes to your own personality in terms of activity of how they want to align with you with Lagos State? And also, what do you think of the people who are already thinking of, are we going to be with Gbadebo, or what are the bold or courageous action that you think that they have taken thus far with the coming election on the 18th of March?
Well, a lot of people are regrouping again.
Okay.
A lot of people are mobilizing again.
Okay.
There are a lot of parties that are collapsing their structure for us. You hear a lot of news on this before the end of this week. Obviously, the elections are on Saturday.
Yeah.
And more than anything, a lot of people are coming out in spite of harassment from the APC government, in spite of intimidation, in spite of so many threats. You have people's markets being burned down. You have landlords threatening their tenants that if they vote for LP again, they'll kick them out of society. You have the government threatening civil servants, inviting them to come for meetings and pressuring them that they must vote for them, they will lose their jobs. But in spite of all of this, you see these people are still going to make the decision that will lead to a hopeful Lagos. They are going to decide out of hope, not fear. And that's what the APC has not understood. You cannot intimidate people you cannot win elections consistently by invoking fear in people. When really people need hope to be able to move the state forward. And it's only so long people will continue accepting your intimidation. They are going to come out like they did the first time and show you that they are going to make decisions based on hope, not fear.
All right, talking about people, the Lagosians making a decision based on hope. We've seen how when it comes to politics, quite a number of things are being dug out and the likes and all of that used against us. All parties use it for some reason or the other. But I want to ask you, people have brought out the issue of NSAS, how you were involved with NSAS. Do you think that, that would affect some people voting for you with all that transpired with NSAS?
No, so anybody that sees the NSAS end without understanding NSAS beginning is being very lazy and myopic. For the first time, we saw young people stand up to hold their government accountable because of harassment that they face continuously for over 10 years. Police brutality, police intimidation. They were peaceful. Whatever litter they made, they picked it up after themselves. When the ruling party sent BRT buses full of young thugs and hoodlums with machetes, they got their own private security. They not destroy anything. Nobody can say they destroyed anything. Now the question is, who gave the order to the military to come and shoot at unarmed protesters? And then what happened after? So let us separate it. Part one, before the shooting. Part two, after the shooting. Because when people are protesting, because they cannot take it anymore. It has gotten here.
But we've seen how Governor Sanwo-Olu went for an interview and he mentioned that he didn't have the capacity to actually order any uniform men to be there. What's your take on it?
Well, it's a lie, you know, and Lagos State has been run by politics and tokenism. They just lie. It's just like the lie of the blue whale that President Buhari came to commission. Did anybody use it yesterday? Did anybody use it today? Nobody's going to use it tomorrow. Nobody used it on my inauguration day. We are going to finish that blue line. And if you look at the inquiry, you see the military came and they said it clearly. Sanwo-Olu invited us here. He said it during the inquiry. There's a video of it, right? Anybody can access this. There's even a transcript of it. Anybody can access it. We know not only did Sanwo-Olu give that order, he also saw the bodies at Reddington Hospital. He visited, he saw it. We know. We have the evidence.
Those bodies, the Lagos State have come out to say that nobody died. They are only injuries.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that we know he saw the bodies. We know he saw the bodies in Reddington Hospital. And we have evidence. We do.
All right. Moving away from this, you know, let me come to you, because I know that you said on national TV that, you know, you want to open an account of Lagos State,
yes,
you know, in the first month of being in the office,
yes,
you know, in the corridor of office, and of course after a few months, maybe the third month, that the people of Lagos, you know, you want them to actually see what has been going on in terms of accountability with the account of Lagos State. But based on this, will you say that there's an assumption, for lack of a better word, or will I say, you know, are there elements to be exposed when it comes to the Lagos State account, you know, with all that is going on right now? Is there anything that you think that, you know, you have at your fingertips that you think that you want to bring to the fore for the people of Lagos to see? What are the evidences that you have?
Well, first of all, when you look, I'll just give you a basic example. And when you look at from Bola Ahmed Tinubu's time, 1999-2003, total amount of money that was budgeted for road construction, they did a total of about 6.8 kilometers of road.
Okay.
When you look at the amount that was budgeted for it and compare it to World Bank benchmarks for a kilometer of road at that time, we were supposed to have gotten almost 100 point something, 100.5 or 100.6 kilometers of road. So we're looking at 6 kilometers of road that we ought to have gotten 100 kilometers of road. So we are looking at a 94 kilometers of road opportunity cost that we could have had. So that's why I say we open the account. We are not witch hunting. We need to understand where we are coming from to better get direction of where we are going. To understand why the blue line has taken so long. To understand what happened with the $1.2 billion that was taken at the time, how that was spent. And then to now map out a way to say, okay, we are getting the best price and the best deal for the money that we have. So by benchmarking our contracts to World Bank benchmarks, which simply imply a kilometer of road must cost this, a kilometer of rail must cost this. And getting these consultants in to be able to look and say, these are the best prices you should get these contracts done, plus 20%, plus minus 20%. That way, we can now have an objective playing field that says we are getting the best deals for the people of Lagos.
Fantastic. You know, the counter argument used today, especially when it comes to the current governor of Lagos State, Governor Sanwo-Olu, is that the Labour Party is playing on ethnic politics. Do you share the same sentiment with all that is going on right now, where people feel that, you know, if GRV comes to the corridor of power, there's possibility that, you know, they are going to change all the obas that are seated at the moment, you know, with the ethnic divide that is being played? What's your take on this?
That's complete nonsense.
Okay.
The people that have pushed this propaganda, that has had a family that's existed in Lagos up to 300, 400 years and has been making history consistently. That City Hall is built on our family land. The people that have pushed that propaganda to say, I am not Yoruba, is the APC. All sorts of nonsense propaganda. They talk about how my father I know my mother, all sorts of nonsense. That is how basic and pedestrian they've become. But you see, I understand because the governor, the sitting governor, dodged the base 5 times. So clearly, this is not going to be an issue-based election or engagement. It's going to be our propaganda, lies, and that's their stock in trade, right? That's the APC stock in trade. That's the first thing. Secondly, for us, I mean, who was the first person to appoint Igbo people into government? It was Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? And for us, we want to raise the stool, that arm of government, traditional leaders. We want to raise it and bring them into governance. They must have a say in policy making. They must have a say in projects that go on in their jurisdiction. They must have input. So the idea that want to replace our Obas with, no, that's complete nonsense.
But listening to you, I cannot help but say that it seems as if the Igbos, so to speak, are actually in tune with you, or the Labour Party, so to speak, compared to the Hausas in Lagos State.
That's not true. You find a lot of non-indigenous are in tune with us. A lot of Lagosians, indigenous of Lagos, are in tune with us. Right? Anybody that is not directly benefiting from the APC government is in tune with us. That's why when you look at the real results that came out from Lagos, that's confirmed by the PDP situation and the Labour Party situation, we have a margin that we won over 700,000+. And this was not in Igbo-dominated areas, because they're trying to attempt to color this as a tribal win. But Labour Party won Alimosho. Those are predominantly Yoruba people. Labour Party won Kushofe, Sanwo-Olu, those are predominantly Ijebu people, right? So this was not an Igbo tribal win. This was a win for Nigeria. This was a win for Lagos. And these are people that are fed up of the status quo and they're tired of the state capture that this APC has come to represent, which is just aggregating the resources of Lagos State for one man, his family, and his cronies.
With what you've shared thus far, can I help but bring to forward the analysis of the people when it comes to the positive opportunists that you have in terms of the advantage of the political dynamics that is ongoing at the moment? You know, some believe that PDP should be the one enjoying this power drift, knowing that we all have been used to APC, PDP in the past, you know. So this is a fresh of breath air, if you ask me, when it comes to Labour Party being the pressure group. I like to refer to you guys as the pressure group. But what's your thoughts thus far with what Labour Party have been able to pull in terms of the change when it comes to politics?
So every 20 years, there's a new generation that comes up that does not buy into the values of the generation above, especially that generation above does not try to reflect this new generation or reach out, or is out of touch. It happens all over the world. And that's what you're seeing here now. It happened, APC was the beneficiary of it in 2015. People just did not care about the history of Buhari, did not care about what he did, his antecedents, he just wanted a change. That's what's happening in Lagos. The revolution anointing is on the Labour Party. And more than that, people are tired of sitting there in 4 hours traffic every day. And you have been in charge of the state for over 20 years. People are tired of living in a state that's ranked as the second worst livable city in the world. Right? And you have tried, you have done your best. It's been 2 decades. Let someone else try. Right? And more than anything, when you talk about the PDP-APC situation, I say today that, you see, we came in, and if you watch any of my previous interviews, we came in as David versus Goliath, right? We not try to come in as Goliath versus Goliath. We not come and say, we too, we are big men, we too, we have money, we too, we have the boys, we are going to fight you. No, we came in as David. We own the fact that we do not have structure. The people are our structure. We own the fact that, yes, we don't have the money. We know they give shishi. Our people said they know they collect shishi. And we moved. And we spoke to people to get into their hearts. We campaigned. It's just now because of what the sitting governor has seen that he's going about today, he's fixing phone, tomorrow is a hairdresser, next tomorrow is an usher in church. You know, when he could have just had the chance, with many chances offered to him, to come and debate. and told the people about how he has run the state. But he believed he was above them. He believed he was bigger than people of Lagos. He believed he did not need them. Until the people showed him that no, they have another idea for who should run Lagos. Right? And that is why now he's all over the place, licking ice cream, fixing hair, all that kind of stuff. But
we always see that during campaign period. No. You know what? Hold your thoughts. Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Stay with me. We'll be right back. All right, glad to know you're still with us. In case you just joined the show, today's conversation is about the coming gubernatorial election, and of course, we have been discussing with the Labour Party candidate. I like to refer to him as the GRV, but his name is Gbadebo Rhodes. Many thanks for being on the platform today, and of course, we've been talking about the chances of winning and the reaction trailing the presidential election in the past few days, as all concerns when it comes to his party, and of course, he has been throwing light on how the people should come out to come and vote for his party. And I must say many thanks for all that you've been sharing thus far in terms of transparency and, of course, accountability, holding our leaders accountable whenever they're in the corridor of power. But quickly, let me open our phone lines. Remember that you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 080-988-77400, showing on your screen right now. And of course, we're streaming live from Facebook and on YouTube, both on Real Talk with Kike platform and on Silverbird platform. So with all that you've shared thus far, I must ask you, because I believe that, the people think that the incumbent political powers, so to speak, want to, will I say, I don't know how to put it now. Will I say they are trying to relinquish power to people in Lagos? People in Lagos feel that there's an end to this thing. Ends the reason why people like you have actually stood up to say that no, we have to come to the position where we have to question certain things that have been put in the corridor of power and how our leaders are taking us further. But with all that you've shared thus far, I cannot help but ask you, when it comes to the vote of the people, how do you account for it, knowing that the likes of engineer Rauf Aregbesola is coming back home to come and campaign for his party, and we've seen how they've been prepared regarding taking this holding on to the power and all of that. But how do you think that you want to go against such opposition of parties that they understand the nitty-gritty of politics?
Well, you see, simply this. I think Victor Hugo said it best. No army on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. The idea that Lagos State is done with this status quo, that time has come. Whether they want to bring Ralph from Osun State, or they want to bring Faleke from Kogi, or they want to bring Sanwo-Olu from Ijebu to campaign, whatever they want to do. The idea that it's time for a Lagos that works. It's time for a Lagos that ranks #1 in terms of ease of doing business. It's time for a Lagos that's not corrupt. It's time for a Lagos that's no longer reactionary to flooding. It's time for a Lagos that actually addresses housing problems and solves the affordable housing issues. It's time for a Lagos that's free of traffic. And we're tired of this Lagos. We're tired of a Lagos that stinks. We're tired of a Lagos that smells. We're tired of a Lagos that they pick waste and dump it. Right? We want a Lagos that we can actually look at and understand that there was a time where the Lagos of my forefathers, was compared to one of the best cities in the world. The Lagos that Tinubu and Aregbesola and all these people grew up in, they will open the tap and they will drink water from it. Is that the Lagos that they've left to us? The Lagos they grew up in, they could go to public school. They were beneficiaries of Jack Conde schools, beneficiaries of public health care. Can they go to public? Can any of them, these people that have come to campaign, can any of them go to public hospitals to get treated today? They are flying abroad to get injection, right? So they've tried. That's fine. Now we're going to take Lagos to a better place, and a place is rightful position in the scheme of things.
All right. With what you've shared now, I want to emphasize that when it comes to Nigeria, I don't want to say Lagos State alone, there's nothing called ease of doing business, because we all understand that even investors are not even comfortable coming to do business with us because of how Nigeria have been projected, and all of that. But moving away from that, let's talk about the last presidential election, because I'm of the opinion that we all saw what transpired. It was stated that it was rigged out even with the complexity of INEC, you know, when it comes to accountability that you're talking about, when it comes to the actual votes in some areas that were not counted, despite the fact that people actually stood there to ask for their vote to be counted, and we saw all that
to be transmitted.
And we saw all that transpired there. But I'm certain that you don't want such to actually happen to you, or such to repeat itself when it comes to this gubernatorial election that is taking place on the 18th of March.
Yes.
So my question is, are you guarding against this time, you know, around, as in against this time of your votes, you know, being transmitted and counted at the real time that is expected, that INEC has emphasized that it will go?
So we have been proactive about this.
Okay.
We've gotten a court injunction, a court order that mandates INEC to follow the rules that it has set for itself. Okay. I think it's called the mandamus order. Yes. That says they must transmit results from polling units. So that's the first thing we've done. Secondly, we are going into this not believing that INEC is going to do that. You know, the first time we went into the election believing that INEC would actually genuinely transmit results. But then what we saw on the ground, I mean, at my polling units, they said the portal is not open. And then you had agents, electoral officers that were saying they didn't have the password, they could not log in. You see all sorts of nonsense. When you actually understand how much of taxpayers' monies were spent on this BVAS equipment, right? So we're going in with the idea that they're going to try to rig. And I plead with INEC, I plead with all, see, the people that are behind this are the youth of this country. Let's not set this country on fire. Let's not set Lagos on fire. There's still a lot of anger coming from 2020. Let people's votes count. Let an election happen. If any other person wins, let it be done fair and fair. Because we don't want a situation where, you saw the aftermath of NSAS, now they're trying to use that, but they're hiding their hands about what they did to lead to that. Let's not do that. All of us are stakeholders in Lagos State, right? Let people's votes count. Because you can best believe that now that the trust has been broken, people are coming to the polling unit and they will not be intimidated. They have all sorts of plans that by Friday night they're going to start shooting up the area, you know. We are aware of all this. I'm sure. But we'll meet them on the field. All right, that's why I'm advising that please do the right thing.
All right, meeting them on the field. I understand that we have a caller. Many thanks for calling. Where are you calling from, please? All right, apologies, I have to let that go. You know, with all that you've shared thus far, you know, I cannot help but go into the polls, because I'm sure that you don't want any stain when it comes to your credibility, when it comes to your image, you know, and of course your integrity with all that I've seen thus far, and I've also read about you. You know, there are some rumors that Emefiele, the CBN governor, you know, is plotting with you to unseat the APC, you know, in the states with connected sum of 500 million. I need to put it out there and I want you to clear yourself of all these allegations.
I've never met Emefiele.
I've
never met him.
Okay.
I've never even been in a room with him. I'm even talking about weddings, though. I've never met him. I've never been. So you see the level of desperation that these people have got into in terms of their propaganda. I believe what they believe is that they're saying that this person is moving. So who might potentially support him? How might it work? So they're trying to put that out there to make them have cold feet. But what they don't understand is when you bully people and push people to the wall, eventually they are going to push back. The election that we won, right, in last couple of weeks ago, I promise you we will not spend up to. When you say the election that you won, are you talking about the Lagos State election?
Exactly,
yes.
Yeah.
And with the real result, not this nonsense that they published, right? It was not by money. So when people are saying Emefiele this, Emefiele that, we are not buying votes. Labour Party says we know they give shishi. And our followers reply to us, we know they collect shishi.
And your principal in the presidential candidate is saying that collect their money but still come and vote for Labour Party.
Yes, collect their money. We are not giving you money, but collect their money and do the right thing.
All right. Obviously, it's obvious to whoever who is watching and whoever who is paying attention to politics that you are a threat to the political arena at the moment, especially when it comes to the opposition party. And the APC spokesperson, you know, has dismissed all the will I say, electorate on their own life said that, you know, all that is going on right now, especially when it comes to the socials, is all sensational news, and it's the reason why some of the political or the social media stunts are still going on at the moment. Are there evidences to all of this? Because we've seen how, you know, in some states there've been a lot of, you know, attacks. We've seen how during this political season, like you said, there's all sorts of allegations that is being thrown out there.
So let's not talk about allegations. I mean, I was in Ekpe on Saturday.
Yeah.
My convoy was shot at, right? So I was there. This was not he said, she said. I was there. Fortunately, the DSS and state services were able to neutralize and contain the situation. But you see, this party is a party that has built itself on intimidation, on harassment, on suppression, on violence. That's their bread and butter, right? That's why you see them, they take pride in the amount of agberos that they've created. Even though these are young men are wasting their lives away on the street. And I mean, I was talking to somebody yesterday and he said he saw an accident happen that hit one of these young men that were trying to come. Is there any health insurance plan for those people? How long, if that guy is amputated now, what future does he have? Right? So, there's nothing, I mean, in 2019 I contested. I know what happened at Jeremy Feludo. I know what happened in Ojo. I know what happened in Oshodi Solo. A lot of violence. That is the stock in trade of the APC. Instead of them to focus on getting the work done for the people. There are people that live in a certain part of Lagos that feel they're not part of Lagos because there's no government presence. Right? Now, they complain about that by voting another party. Your response to that is to intimidate them, suppress them, threaten them, try to close their markets, burn their markets, all of that. Thinking that they are going to step back. No. You're just emboldening them because nobody likes a bully. Nobody likes a bully. Right? You cannot be closing people's markets in one corner, then going to go and prostrate and beg the Igbo people in another corner. Right? And this is what has been going on the whole past week. But we have seen through all this. We've seen through the tokenism. We've seen through all the politics.
Yeah,
and Lagosians are done.
So talking about Lagosians are done and talking about the Igbo people, because I've had hot debates, Gbadebo, regarding Lagosians, you know, nursing the fear of should Labour Party win in Lagos State, what will Yoruba people, you know, what will it be like? Will Yoruba people suffer in the state because of the Igbo people? You know, because we know that Igbo people have some influence. However, we look at it when it comes to Lagos State in terms of, you know, trade, in terms of, you know, commerce and all of that, you know, and of course governance in the state as well. So what's your thoughts thus far with all of these, you know, fears with Yoruba people in the state, knowing that also some of them has also, you know, kind of tweaked in the person you're married to, you know, you're married to an Igbo person, your dad is married to an Igbo person, and what's your take thus far with it?
You know, I feel that it's unfortunate that these kind of fears have been put in people, but they are non-existent. I'll give you several examples. You see, when you go to a Alaba market, right, your goods are going in. Your goods is taxed 4-5 times on the road. They collect money from them. Those monies are eventually added on the cost of those goods that you, the Yoruba person, goes to the market to go and buy. Who are the people doing those taxations? The Yoruba people. If you are looking at a situation where all over the place, you see how the Igbo people, non-indigenous, even Hausa people that are dealing spare parts, dealing scrap metals, the Yoruba woman in Lagos Island that has a tray of pure water that she bought for 1,000 naira, her profit is 1,300 naira, but Agbero is coming and collecting 200 naira out of that profit. Is it Igbo people that are doing that? Is it Igbo people that were quiet when Fulani herdsmen were coming into Oyo, Ondo, killing so many Yoruba people? Sunday Igboho stood up. Rotimi Akeredolu stood up. Tinubu was quiet. Sanwo-Olu was quiet. Amotekun, when these brave Yoruba governors came together and said, we must have a force that can defend our people, Sanwo-Olu was quiet. Sometimes you'll not attend the meeting. Him and Utola, you'll not attend the meeting. Tinubu was quiet. He went to go and commiserate with Leader Fasuranti when his daughter died. And he went in person and said, where are the cows? Why? because he wanted an alliance for his presidential ambition. He put his ambition before the interests of the people. So for me, I say, let us look at the heart of people. It's not about the tongue that they speak. If everybody does what they are supposed to do, and all of us are living a good life, we will not be so bothered about all of these things. But please, nobody, you have nothing to fear. I am a proud Lagosian. I'm a proud Yoruba man, right? The advantage I have is I see what unites the two groups of people more than what divides us. I know the history of Lagos. Go and look, when they were attacking Yorubas in all this place, I was speaking out. I was in support of Sunday Igboho because I believe that it is important. There must always be someone that stands for his people. If you don't have someone standing for your people, then you don't have leaders. You don't have leaders. It's not just by being elite or by being rich. You are the first person that should go and meet the enemy at the gate. That's what leadership is about. And in that question, the entire APC government in Lagos State failed the Yoruba people. So let us not be paying lip service, eye service. And I've used the word Afonja, and people don't understand. I don't think people know the history. Yoruba group lost Kwara State because of Afonja's ambition. He partnered with the Fulani and betrayed the interests of his people because of his ambition. And it was at this time when a lot of our leaders were quiet and were not speaking up. But brave people like Rotimi Akeredolu sacrificed his own presidential ambition to stand up. And I respected that. I respected Sunday Igboho as well. And I still do. I respect people like Padebanjo that supported Sunday Igboho at that time and rallied around him. Because if you don't speak up, see, someone might be killing a Hausa Fulani today. You keep quiet. Tomorrow, you don't know when they'll come and start killing you. So you must always stand for the oppressed, whether it's Igbo, whether it's Hausa, whether it's Fulani, whether it's Southern Kaduna, whether it's Christians, whether it's Muslims. Always stand for the oppressed so that when people come against you, people will stand for you. And I have been consistent all my life. So even when people want to tweet about, oh, I supported IPOB, there's a movement has different parts. That's like NSAS. There's part one that I'm very proud of. Part two, I'm not proud of. I'm not proud that women became widows because their husband he's just a policeman. He did not do anything, was killed. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about all the people that their businesses were burned down. They had nothing to do with anything, but their businesses were burned down. I'm not happy about that. And similar thing can be said for IPOB. The idea that, listen, we are in a country, treat us free and fair. There was a point where the entire Southeast was like it was occupied by the military. You could not move, you could not breathe. And why? And people stood against that. So I will support that. But when you now start talking about sit at home, kidnapping, violence, I'm not for that at all.
All right, talking about support, there was a video that trended, I think, last week regarding your sister or your half-sister working
No,
with
my full sister.
Your full sister.
My sister, and I love her very much.
Many thanks for clarifying. Your sister working closely with Sanwo-Olu, and that in the past you have been, projecting her work, and giving awareness to all that she's been doing, especially when it comes to domestic violence and the likes and all of that. And people have been using that also, against you when it comes to your sister being in the camp of Governor Sanwo-Olu, and you are the other part. How does it feel like when both of you come together as a family unit? Do you think politics is something that causes tension or brings tension between you and your siblings?
The honest truth is I'm proud of my sister. I'm proud of the work she's done. I'm proud of how consistent she has been. I'm proud of the amount of lives that she has touched. That's what we're raised. We're raised in my family to make impact. It's not about the money you make. It's not about make impact, values. Yeah. And I'm proud of that. Now, APC is desperate. APC writes scripts. So we know what's going to happen. Well, either way, it's all right. I know my sister's heart. Let's just put it like that. I know my sister's heart.
All right, let's end it like that.
Thank you so much.
I think this might be my last question now. Should you win, what are the changes that you want to bring when it comes to the welfare of Lagosians? Because I feel that you need to touch on that, and especially when it comes to the infrastructure in Nigeria. Earlier you were talking about ease of doing business and the likes and all of that, and how Nigeria have been, projected in a negative way when we have a lot of positive and a lot of good sides to us. What are the things that you're going to be bringing to your own administration on the standard of living and, of course, on economy?
Yes. So first and foremost, we're going to increase the minimum wage in civil service from minimum wage to a living wage. First 100 days. We're going to shut down any loopholes or any inefficient expenses. So that's why Alpha Beta keeps coming up. And those funds are going to be channeled to low-cost loans, right, that will be given to people of Lagos to embark on productive enterprise with the government. Because there are many, Lagos State is underserved. And there's so many jobs that need to be filled. So we're going to be recruiting a lot of teachers to reduce the ratio of students to teachers. We're going to be recruiting a lot of support staff for our doctors, so our doctors are not overwhelmed. And all of those things are going to be funded by these resources that would have blocked out from the regular expenses that the APC makes. Secondly, we're going to depoliticize the BRT lane so that more buses can be moving. So more people will be favorable to going by bus on the BRT lane. So you're a private individual, you have a bus that can carry 30, 40 people. You apply, we monitor the bus, we see the bus, you get on the lane, right? So it will be like an Uber model, right? So there's that. Then, so you're talking first 100 days. So we're publishing the accounts of the state government so that people understand what we'll be doing with our money and to build trust and gain trust of the people of Lagos. And then also we're going to create a situation where we map out our statewide transportation network, because it's on that basis, right, that we can now start to do affordable housing and open Lagos up, especially Lagos East and Lagos West, and decentralized planning and design in Lagos State. And lastly, first 100 days, we depoliticize the entire waste management system and create a situation where domiciled at the local government level, waste is separated from the house. Organic waste, paper, plastic, and all of them are taking different routes. So we need a lot more people to get involved. Not just you must know the big man in the APC, right? We open it as a platform, you have the truck, you can come in. These are things that improve business. We create a lot of wealth, because now we're not just doing picking and dumping. We're upcycling, we're recycling and creating waste to wealth.
When it comes to drainage, all right, many things.
And drainage as well, right? So we're going to enact a proper wetland protection policy so people are not just sand filling everywhere and water is stuck in the city.
All right, fantastic, fantastic. I know that we ran out of time, and I must say many thanks for all that you've shared thus far. It's been an interesting one having you on the platform today, and of course showing light on what you will be doing and what interests Lagosians, especially when it comes to the next gubernatorial election that will be coming place. And I want to just say we wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
On Saturday 18th of March, and we hope that all of us can smile afterwards. Unfortunately, I will not be able to take any trending stories today because we ran out of time, but until I come your way on Thursday, remember to catch me on Inspiration FM 92.3 at 5 p.m. Bye now.
Okay.